And we're going to be going straight into this first match on the main table. Duong Quoc Hoang of Vietnam, who's been having a fine 2023, many highlights along the way, against Joey Tate, who's one of the big rising hopes of the American game. Still only 18 years of age. Jeremy Jones was one of the big rising hopes of American pool once upon a time, and he delivered in a big way by winning this title 20 years ago. When you look at young American players, Joey Tate is right up there among the most exciting.
Yeah, absolutely, and he's a kid that's got a lot of heart because, you know, I think he's one that had to go through trials and tribulations as a young kid trying to figure himself out. You can see he's getting himself in shape. He's starting to look a little like a football player out there, maybe a middle linebacker, but yeah, he's a tough kid. He's gone through a lot of tough matches, and you just gotta respect what he's doing at a young age.
Yeah, we saw him make a bit of an impact here last year, and Shane Van Boning so close. So it's going to be fascinating to see now how much his game has come on from there in the intervening 12 months.
Well, I think, like, you know, a lot of kids these days, especially much more than years and years ago whenever I played, much more, you know, aware of form and technique, and, you know, they want great fundamentals. They're preached how important it is, and it is important, but sometimes you can get consumed with it. And I think a lot like Tyler Steyer, you know, Joey's going to start to just swing the cue and depend on those fundamentals that he's built. And I think it's going to pay nothing but dividends for the young man.
Well, you say young, and you're not kidding. In fact, he was a couple of years away from being born when you won this championship, Jeremy. He only turned 18 this summer, born in Chicago. And then he moved at the age of 12 to Elm City in North Carolina, a small town of about 1,500 people, an hour or so east of the state capital, Raleigh.
Yeah, really nice there, and almost had to play it to the left side of the pocket to get past the side. And tell you what, pretty fluid here early. And that's the other thing. Once you start to trust things a little bit, you start to get on with it. You know, I saw Joey at times take a lot of time on what would be easy shots or easy decisions, and now you can see just kind of a little more rhythm out there. Just a little draw stroke. Love the cue ball to get somewhat where it's at now.
He was practically banging down the door to get in here this morning. He was one of the first people to arrive, and he actually wanted to go and practice about an hour ago on the match table. He was told he'd have to hold on a while to do that, but he found an outside table and went and worked on his game there for an hour or so. And the early signs are that it worked very well. This has been perfection.
Yeah, you can always tell the comfort level with the rhythm around the table. Not really stressing. Very deliberate with the stroke.
An absolute dream start for the teenager. A break and run in the opening rack. Joey Tate leads Duong Quoc Hoang by 1 rack to 0. Just looking at some of the other matches starting. Earl Strickland, 5-time winner of this title. He's here playing. There's a last-minute addition to the field, just starting out against Mia Natani. Woo Kun Lin, world semi-finalist, playing Kashton Keaton. Fidel Gorst, as we were saying, plays Sam Henderson. That's just starting on table 2, so that's one we'll be keeping a very close eye on. Yuki Oi, Jonas Suto Camino, these are some of the other players starting out around now. Victor Zielinski as well. And Chang Young Lin. So as always, the first couple of days of an event like this, well-established names wherever you look.
Yeah, America's youth really out here at the 10 a.m. round.
And we saw the name Billy Thorpe there playing Lucas Taylor, and you were telling me he had an ankle injury. I actually saw him going around the venue yesterday in one of those mobility scooters. But it all seems to have worked, because he's going to go out there and play the match, and hopefully the injury won't affect him too much. 1-0 to Joey Tate.
Yeah, and Billy's just a tough guy, so I think he's starting to really show some form too. So hopefully that doesn't slow him down. It will slow him down a little bit, but hopefully it doesn't slow him down with his progress. He's making in his full game, and certainly here to make some noise at the U.S. Open. But getting back to that youth, you got Joey Tate here, as a little underdog against Hoang, of course, and Sam Henderson on the next table against Frederick Gorst. A lot of people don't know Sam. Very, very good player from the Midwest. And going to be a great player. And Cashton Keaton, of course, in action. I think he can see a little piece of this one, and I think he, where are you going to roll out to? That's the thing. So I think he has to take this on, even though he may not get a snooker. But he should leave a very difficult shot. Okay, I didn't think he would catch that much of it. I thought he would shave it more. And
first look then at Duong Quoc Hoang, and you talk about players who've really enhanced their standing on the world stage in 23, and this man is firmly in that conversation.
Yeah, absolutely. And he's got a super high gear. He's one of the best shot makers when it comes to the long, tough ones. But he's really steadied his game on everything in between. And, you wouldn't say the top guys, but he's right there. Going to be a feature player here in a couple weeks' time there in Hanoi. And he can make the one. He was trying to see what he could do with the cue ball. In that first rack, you could kind of tell a little bit of an alarm clock, realizing Joey Tate's here to play. So he has to limit any mistakes. Now, do you go into the three? Do you just draw out for the combination, which I kind of like if that's possible? He's going to spin, so speed crucial. Looks really good. And you notice the way he played that. He may not have gained position, but he was never going to get snookered behind the 7, kind of guarding the speed. Very smart. Wound up perfect. Just got to maybe roll or stun forward for the pink.
Duong Quoc Hoang is ranked number 41 in the world. And that's an improvement of almost 100 places since the start of the year. Started to really notice him in 2022, got to the last 64 of the World Championship, and then the last 32 here, where he ran Eklund Kachi quite close. But really it's in 23 that he's moved up to the next level. He beat Wojciech Szewczyk 11-1 at the World Championship to set up a last 16 meeting with the reigning champion Shane Van Boening, who he beat. And then was defeated by Wu Kunlin in the quarters.
Yeah, got a little more angle here than he wanted. Little equipment change since I've seen him last. Went to the carbon fiber, like a lot of players. Oh, really nice. And that's the thing that'll fool you about Hoang is the power he really has. Kind of from nowhere. I always talk about it. Looks like when he walks around the table, he may fall over at any moment, just kind of like a real mild sachet. And but man, he's got a lot of game. Okay, a little off angle here as well. Could pinch it, take a little longer shot on the 8. Could kind of force the cue ball a little bit to get closer.
When you came in this morning and said to me, who have we got first up, and I told you it was these two, your reaction was along the lines of, this is going to be a great match to start the day, and early indications are very much in that direction.
Yeah, absolutely. And these players are ready. This is the biggest title in the game, in my opinion. These players are showing it.
So, good first rack from Joey Tate. Nice second one from Duong Quoc Hoang. And as a result, it's 1-all. Federal Gorst is just lining up the 9 along the rail. Doing the opener against Sam Henderson. It's over on table 2. And he's potted that now. Ralph Suke is out there, has won the first rack against Paul Song. Still as enthusiastic about the game as ever as Ralph. Nicholas De Leon, American player, maybe came here hoping to make a late run to get into the Mosconi team, but 2-0 down against Sami Jokinen of Finland. Yuki has won the first rack against David Dyer. So there's some of the other scores, and back here it's 1-all.
Yeah, not much of an opening there, and the one a little slow to the side. So, and in past tournaments, Hoang has gotten warnings before for not a forceful break, so he's going to have to pay attention to that. Not only that, we always say it, right, Michael? When they do get the warning, it seems like they start to break better. I'll tell you, Nick De Leon, who really played all the tournaments last year trying to make a fight for that Mosconi, I think he's playing his best pool this year. So I expect him to make a match of it over there and get the W. He's got to go for this a little bit, try to go into the 5 with the cue ball, trying to hold position. I think coming backwards is a little dangerous and may cause a miss. Yeah, just like that. It's just when the ball's froze, it's very difficult to come backwards with the cue ball, even when it's not that far from the hole. Big shot on the 1 as well. You can see the 3-9 kind of kiss shot looming, maybe. I think the rail first, very playable here. I think you're going to see him attack here on the rail first, trying to get the speed right, coming around somewhat, you know, kind of where the cue ball's at now. That would be great. The speed here. It's going to need a bump and a friendly one. Or maybe no bump, Michael.
I was saying he's made huge strides up the world rankings this year. It's really in the last 18 months or so that he's come to our attention in a big way. He's been playing the game for some time. He's in his late 30s now. Very much in the vanguard of the huge Vietnamese surge on the world stage at the moment.
Yeah, we talk about all these young new faces maybe, and some players that haven't been playing in a while, but we got one, a 2-time winner of this event, that's back in action after some serious health issues not long ago. Darren Appleton, he teased it off today.
Yeah, just great to see him back playing, and he's actually sitting just across from us at the moment, waiting his turn on the practice table.
Yeah, super scary situation with him, and you know, if you kept up with it and the reports he gave us, you could see he had, you know, suffered some weight loss because of it. You know, got a little weak for a while, and understandably, but now he looks a lot better, and of course wouldn't be here unless he felt like he could play really well. Really can't wait for this man to win one of these big events. Maybe not the U.S. Open, we'll see, but one of these big Matchroom events, just to see the emotion. That's the main one I want to sweat. pretty stone-faced killer, but I know it'd be a huge smile and a lot of fun to see him win one of these big events.
Yeah, sometimes it's the people who are most intense at the table who have the biggest emotional outburst when their big moment finally arrives. Oh, very high quality start to this match. And Duong Quoc Hoang, having lost the opening rack, has won 2 in a row, so he leads for the first time in the contest by 2 racks to 1. So as I was saying, there's a big surge going on as we look at some of these scores in pool in the country of Vietnam at the moment, and that's why we'll be going to Hanoi week after next for the inaugural Hanoi Open. Emily Fraser, the CEO of Matchroom Multisport, who's making all these new events happen, has popped in for a word about it, and fair to say there's been an eventful build-up, Emily.
Yeah, it's very exciting at the moment. Obviously we're at the US Open right now, but at the end of this event we'll be heading home for a few days and then we're off to Hanoi. We just finished a production call this morning just talking about the last bits of the event. We're really excited about this. You know, Hanoi is the capital of Vietnam, and I believe it's got some of the biggest sort of pool rooms in Asia, in Vietnam. The demand for 9-ball is just going to be incredible over there from when we're there from the 10th of October. It's just such a brilliant opportunity for us to be able to have 2 back-to-back events in the first year that we're doing this in Hanoi. We've got a World 9-ball Tour ranking event starting off on the 4th of October in Hanoi, and that's the Perry Open. And then we have the first ever, the inaugural Hanoi Open Pool Championship, the 10th to the 15th of October. Expect a very big arena, expect your 30 tables, expect your TV table, your streams tables as well. And I hear that the ticket sales are going absolutely crazy for this event. You know, we've got the likes of Efren Reyes coming over to even watch the tournament. So we're really excited about this event.
Yeah, Vietnam is one of those places you don't hear that much about in terms of international sporting success, but it's a country of about 100 million people. So if they could build on the surge there's been in terms of results for players like Duong Quoc Hoang over the last year, then it could maybe be the next Philippines and it could become one of the very biggest sports there. And how big an event is it? The prize money is very similar to most of these big Matchroom Open events, isn't it?
Yeah, just the same as our Open event. So it's $200,000 prize money, 256 players. There has been some local qualifiers also in Hanoi to give some more local support and opportunity for players. Look, there's such a huge fan base of pool in Vietnam and especially in Hanoi, hence we decided to go there. And everyone's so passionate about this sport. You know, we see a surge really in our Matchroom Open events of more Vietnamese players playing. We saw the recent World Cup of Pool where they got through to the first, you know, the second round, which was fantastic to see.
They were 1 rack away from the quarterfinals and knocking out Britain along the way, so made a big impact.
Yeah, so we're really looking forward to it. We've got FSR there, we got SVB, you got the Coe brothers, Jason Shaw, Josh, Albin, Fedor, Carlo. We got the World Cup winners, Johan and James Arana. So this is going to be a stacked field. Whoever wins the Hanoi Open, they will need a round of applause, standing ovation from everyone in that arena, because it will be one of the toughest fields and one of the toughest arenas to win it. And I just know that the atmosphere out there is going to be phenomenal.
You look at somewhere like Fulda that wasn't a well-known place, and now pool has really put it on the map. You look at the crowds we've had there in Germany over the last couple of years, it's just felt so big time. I think that's what we can expect in Hanoi week after next, isn't it? Certainly,
and even with us, you know, the strategic name change of the Hanoi Open, we want to be there every year. We want to make this an annual event, and what else could we be doing there? There's so many more opportunities. We've got a great team on the ground. We've got opening ceremonies, press conferences. We've got a junior event. So this is just the beginning, and you can expect it's going to look a little bit different to our usual events because we're in a different continent. But very much like Fulda, we're in a 3rd year this year, and the fans and the atmosphere for that event was just absolutely phenomenal. So we're really just looking forward to seeing what new opportunities can come from this and what winner this can produce.
Just before we let you go, Emily, give us something else to look forward to in 2024. I know you've always got many announcements up your sleeve, so can you drop any hints about what the schedule might be like in 24? Is it going to be even bigger?
Action-packed. We are building our 24 schedule at the moment, and that consists of ranking events, third-party promoters. The World 9-Ball Tour will be an event every week, and, it was over 40 events on the schedule for this year, so imagine where we're going to be for next year. We're very keen on announcing our Matchroom pool schedule, our own Matchroom events. That will all be coming soon, coming to light very soon, as well as all of the other ranking events. Everyone has seen the excitement and the benefit of being a part of the World 9-Ball Tour, and it is being a part of it. It's being partnered with us and players traveling all over the world to earn their ranking points. We've just seen the recent announcement of the Chinese Taipei events as well, which is another, series of events, and we're looking to expand our events in Spain as well, looking at new territories in Europe, and also expand in Asia. So there is just a lot of things going on, and I'm just so excited. Even Michael, you're coming over to Hanoi next week.
Can't wait, yeah.
We've got the whole team coming over. We've got Carl, we've got JJ, we've got our Matchroom team coming to support the Perry Open ranking event first, and then we've obviously got the Hanoi Open as well. So look, if you have not booked your ticket, if you were sitting on the fence about coming along or even tuning in, this event is going to be something so special, I can assure you that. So the players here in this US Open arena, they're all talking about it. What's Vietnam going to be like? Is it going to be, what's the arena going to look like? Is it going to be humid? They're really going to enjoy it. And I think the word for it is electric. And there's going to be loads of things for them to do. There's so many sightsees that they can go and see. I've been there twice, just very, very short visits. Food out there is lovely, and the people and the fans, they're all so welcoming. Everyone is going to feel something really special with this event.
Okay, well, knowing you, Emily, I know you've probably got another couple of events to announce before lunchtime, so we'll let you go and crack on with that, and always a pleasure to hear from you about the wonderful developments going on in the game at the moment. Thanks for dropping in.
Thanks, Michael.
Emily Fraser there, CEO of Matchroom Multisport, looking ahead to the latest big and exciting development in the game. Week after next, we'll be in Vietnam for the inaugural Hanoi Open. Bringing it back to the present day, Joey Tate looking to draw level here with Duong Quoc Hoang. Big difference with Joey Tate now, JJ, is he's playing full-time. He graduated school earlier this year. He's taking a gap year at the moment. He's hoping to go to college at some point and study something business-related, but for now, he's playing full-time, and you can only improve in those circumstances.
Yeah, absolutely, and he's a smart kid, and that's the impressive thing. I know more of the American youngsters than I do the foreign, but all together, they all seem like real sharp kids, and looking towards their future. But the World 9-Ball Tour has been so attractive, and of course everything it's doing and growing, these players want to be a part of it. He's got a tester here. And a lot of people want to hit this shot light, and I think that's the mistake. You don't want to crush it, but you want to commit.
Well, that wasn't easy.
No, it wasn't at all. And like I said, it's easy to want to hit the ball a little lighter there, trying to open the pocket, or what you figure is opening the pocket, but sometimes lose accuracy.
The likelihood is that missing that 9-ball, though, is going to be the difference between levelling at 2-all and going 3-1 down. And that's exactly how it's turned out. Duong Quoc Hoang has now won 3 racks in a row. So looking elsewhere, Ralph Souquet 2-1 down against Paul Song. Earl Strickland, 5-time US Open champion, 2-1 up on Miina Tani. Woo Kun Lin, world semi-finalist, has lost the first rack to Kashtan Keaton, who you were mentioning earlier, JJ. Badr Alawadi flying along, 4-0 up on Cody Booth. And this is going on table 2. Fedor Gorst, former world champion. Seems too young to be describing him as the former anything. He's 3-0 up on Sam Henderson. Gorst currently leading the race for that second automatic spot on the European Mosconi Cup team, which will be decided here in Atlantic City this week. Billy Thorpe, who's had his injury problems, level at 1-1 with Lucas Taylor. Victor Zielinski has won the first couple of racks against Canadian Barry Hetherington. Chang Yong Lin, 3-1 up on Paul Schofield. As we go back to table 1.
All right, got the one down nice, and you noticed a little more speed on that break and a much better outcome. A little funny on the 2, but it may be playable, and it looks like it sends the cue ball towards the red 3. I'll tell you a match to keep an eye on, and one you mentioned is Ralph Souquet playing Paul Song, a guy that a lot of players don't know from the Atlanta area, that is a very, very good player and just kind of plays the game right. Very simple kind of player, but got a lot of games, so watch out there, Ralph.
Yeah, the American leading 2-1. So, sorry about this, Jeremy, but I am going to say that in the early stages of that match, Song is hitting the right notes.
Well, you got to start us off sometime or another, and a nice shot to start there. He's got a tricky one with the pink 4 up the table, and what happens, you know, even with the easy layouts, the conditions are so difficult, you have to pay attention, but when they start to lay tough, that's really where you start to get a little separation in the players.
I mentioned in the piece with Emily there during the previous rack that Duong Quoc Hoang and Nguyen Tan really showed up well for Vietnam at the World Cup in Spain earlier in the summer. Beat Kuwait in the first round and so nearly made it to the quarters, just going down in a hill finish against the British pair of Jason Shaw and Elliot Sanderson. And it was a very successful fortnight in Spain all round for Duong Quoc Hoang. He had a dramatic run through the Spanish Open the week before. Came through in the last rack against both Max Lechner and Konrad Yusashin, and then beat Sanjin Pelovanovic quite comfortably, really, to set up a quarter-final against Mark Bijsterbosch, and he almost won that as well. Bijsterbosch was so relieved to get over the line at 10-9, went on to reach the final. But that's been the key with Duong Quoc Hoang. It hasn't just been a case of doing well in one tournament and not building on it. He's followed up his World Championship run with many more decent showings throughout the year. But back in the present day, he will not be happy with that one.
No, and kind of wasn't unhappy the way he hit the ball, it looked like, from his expression, just kind of overran it. Of course, these players, this is the second wave of round one. Got the first one yesterday, and so first time on the tables for these players. And this just shows you how good the jump they are at jumping the ball these days, right? Pretty easy, doable kick that can have a lot of reward, but likes his chances with the jump cue. Gonna get the 5 somewhat safe. Maybe an awkward stretch for the lefty. Tall man though, so it should be okay. Now he may go for the long rail bank here, trying to hold the cue ball behind the green 6. A bit of a two-way shot. It looks like it lays kind of perfect to do so, where you can put a little speed on this, trying to really make it in the lower right and hold the cue ball behind the green 6. Really banked it short, too much speed. Also, this ball's going to come up. Right shot, just maybe a little lack of experience on how to hit it. Needed a little left spin to open up the bank. And this is what he does really well, come with the big shots. Oh, wow, that was a big miss. And normally when you hit one like that, they're not aiming that poorly. That just doesn't happen. A little let up on the stroke, usually.
Joey Tate potting the purple 5. He was in a bit too much of a hurry to pot that same ball here last year when he played Shane Van Bonen and put in a great showing against him, led for so much of the match and still in with every chance of winning it at 7-all. Looked like he was heading for the hill and then made a huge error, got down and potted the purple 5 while the pink 4 was still on the table. Ball in hand, Van Bonen went on from there to lead 8-7. Then scratched on the break in the next rack. Still ended up winning it, so 9-7 winner, Van Bonen. But he got a lot of criticism after that, Jeremy, for not pointing out what Joey Tate was about to do. But he defended himself, saying, well, I'm not out there to help my opponent. And I find that very hard to disagree with.
No, absolutely. I mean, I don't think Joey Tate had any hard feelings towards Shane in that situation. I mean, that's just part of it. You know, we've always had situations where, referees, they're human and they could make a bit of a wrong call. And you just got to go with the ref's call. That's how it is. And even if a player maybe knows that maybe the call was a little suspect. So, all right, big shot here. Tight, tough pockets. So.
Big error from Duong Quoc Hoang gave Joey Tate the chance. And with that, he's closed to 1 behind. It's only 3-2 now. Ralph Souquet is levelled with Paul Song at 2-all. It's also 2 apiece. And a match involving another past winner of this title, Earl Strickland against Mina Tani. Cody Booth has got off the mark. Now trails Badr Alawadi 5-1. Federal Gorse 3-0 up on Sam Henderson, as we were saying. They're still playing the 4th rack. The injured Billy Thorpe is level with Lucas Taylor in the All-American clash at 2-all. Also 2-all in Naoki Oi's match against David Derek Dyer. Victor Zielinski roaring along 5-0 against Barry Hetherington. Pius Laboute, a semi-finalist at the Spanish Open, 4-0 up on Tyler Mills. And Niels Fyen, former world champion, has won all of the first 5 racks against Tyrrell Blowers.
All right, putting a lot into that one. Nice break off. Going to get a nice shot on the blue 2. 6-9 on the bottom of your screen here in a moment. You'll see is a difficult situation, but you never know. Maybe able to manufacture something there. Can't do a whole lot here on the blue 2. Just kind of hold the cue ball for the cut on the 3. But all these, this is the difference, right? None of these can be looked over. All these shots now with the 4-inch pockets, very demanding.
I know we talk a lot about his potential, but he's got such a long way to go to actually become a leading player. Would there be one thing you've spotted in his game that you feel he needs to focus on and a way in which he needs to improve if he's to make that journey?
I don't think so overall. I think he's kind of transitioning into my thoughts, which are, like I said earlier, the young guys these days, they get very involved in mechanics, and that's a good thing. I mean, you want to pay attention to that, and you want it as good as possible, but you don't want to become machine-like. And, I saw that from Joey at times earlier, a year ago, 2 years ago, trying to take care of that 6-9 right there. That promoted that miss, but now he looks, like he's going with it, and he looks a lot more natural over the ball, which I think is a big positive.
I know you spend half your time at tournaments with American players in particular coming to you for a bit of advice and guidance about aspects of their game. I saw one very experienced American player coming to you yesterday to talk about his break-off shot. Is Joey Tate someone you've spoken to at all about his game?
You know, I know he was doing some things with Tyler and some other people, and you know, we talked a little bit. I wouldn't say necessarily about his game, but you know.
Watch the 9.
Yeah.
Yeah, you could see from the moment it started moving, it was heading in that direction. So a slice of good fortune there.
Yeah, but a great shot on the 3.
Sure.
So but yeah, we haven't talked in about a year or so, really. But just always trying to, you know, bring the positive to those young players.
And what a friendly and confident young man Joey Tate is. Just a joy to talk with.
And he's always been like that. I mean, really all the youngsters are great.
So Duong Quoc Hoang is about twice the age of Joey Tate, and he's now got twice as many racks as him on the board. 4-2. Remember, the winner of this match will then play again later in the day to claim a place, they will hope, in winners' qualification. But the loser will also be in action again later on Tuesday on the one-loss side of the draw. Victor Zielinski doesn't look to be in any danger of heading for the loser's side. He's 6-0 up now against Barry Hetherington. Paul Nadeberg of Estonia leading 5-1 against Spain's Manuel Montejo Fernandez. And Sharik Saeed of Singapore leading Jim Prather of the US 4-0. Honasuto Camino 5-1 up on the Canadian Kenneth Donald.
I'll tell you, after that first break off, he's really improved. The 1 down, no real look at the 2, maybe a little on the left edge to play some type of safety. A lot of Americans, though, big crowds watching those 2 youngsters on the main table. Of course, Feder Gorst and Hoang, it doesn't hurt to watch them a little bit as well.
Yeah, Sam Henderson at the table now, over on table 2. 4-0 down against Fedor Gorst, but 3 balls away from opening his account.
And of course, just like anything else, you always take a liking to someone's game. It's appealing to you, whether you're a spectator or another player. And of course, love Joey and the way he's evolved, but I really like the way Sam Henderson swings the cue. I think it's something that's just going to hold up for a long, long time. Taking on the kick shot, realizing the rollout was, or the push out rather, was very difficult. And Sam Henderson with a 9 ball to get on the board. Make it 4-1 and breaking. Joey Tate, I think you just keep it simple, roll up on the 8. There's a lot of congestion there, so could leave a very difficult path to the blue 2.
That ripple of applause you may hear just in the background there is for Sam Henderson potting that 9. So 4-1 down now to Fedor Gorst.
And it appears there's a gap between the 5-9 to get at this blue 2, kicking across the table. Makes it a pretty makeable ball, but the problem is the 3's on the opposite end. The cue ball is going to continue towards the green 6 and pink 4. So not really a whole lot you can do, though. The hit goes a long ways. The pink 4 is a very difficult ball. Doesn't go by the 6, I don't think, anyways. So I'd say maybe 40% to make this. Not a big underdog. Surprised he played it with speed, and the reason why, he was trying to make it and get position, but that was really going to be a hard proposition, and now he's taking care of a few problems for Joey. Okay, this ball's going to come out a little bit, but he does have a little bit of an angle. So going forward, he shouldn't get too tough a shot on the pink 4. And the purple 5 goes to both lower corners, so probably comes across. Plays the purple 5 in the same pocket. Caught a little heavy, so the cue ball is going to be a little nearer the rail than he originally desired, but should be okay.
There's a different attitude to youngsters, I always feel, looking in from the outside, in any sport really in the US, because in all the major team sports, you've got guys coming straight out of college and going to play for the biggest teams in the country straight away. You see it in individual sports like golf. Players are coming out of the college system and they expect to be contending to win titles on the PGA Tour almost straight away. Slightly different culture in other parts of the world. There's almost a feeling of ease your way in, get the experience. But the American way seems to work better.
Yeah, well, I think giving them the credit, right, and knowing it really doesn't take a whole lot to get comfortable in those sports. And I think the setup in America is pretty darn good. Now they've changed a few things. It used to be some of them would come straight from high school into those pro sports, but now there's you know, you got to stay in college for at least a year in the NBA, 3 years in the NFL, and I think it sets them up really well.
Joey Tate seems to be following in that tradition. He's come out here full of belief in himself that he can get results against the best players. And he's back to only one behind in this match now at 4-3. Victor Zielinski could be the first winner of the day. A couple of racks away from doing so. 7-0 now against Barry Hetherington. Low Ho Sum has a 3-1 lead over Ryan Borsa. P.S. Labutus now 5-0 up on Tyler Mills. Chang Young Lin stretched his lead to 4-1 against American Paul Schofield. All of these first round matches. Now Yuki Oi not having things his own way. 3-all against David Derek Dyer. This is over on table 2. I brought you up to date on this one. Sam Henderson getting back to 4-1 behind against Federal Gorst. Billy Thorpe has fallen 4-2 behind against Lucas Taylor. Gorst currently leading, as I was saying, the race for that second automatic place on the European Mosconi Cup team. Moved ahead of David Al-Qaedi after his recent success here in the United States. Al-Qaedi's about 10,000 points behind, so he would have to get to the semi-finals to have any chance of overtaking Gorst, claiming that spot. So it looks good for Gorst to make his return to the team. He's been a Mosconi Cup winner before, of course.
All right, Joey's broke the balls pretty well so far. And really putting a lot of steam into the break as well, so he's comfortable on that end. Not backing off, and as soon as I say something, looky there. Caught the one a little thin there. Never got a kiss really, just below the rack, so that's what you want to stay away from. It doesn't appear he has to get it that close to cut this in and go by the 4. Not to me anyways. Because you're going to want to come down to this bottom rail getting on the 2. You don't want to slowly creep in there getting by this green 6. So just got to slow down a bit. It's pretty good. Got the lower right corner for the 3. He can draw back for the side. Even a 3-9 combo, if he could get in position, lays real nice. Don't think we're going to see that. You can see that 3-9 combination, though. It's really lined up. He's just going to roll forward past the 8 a little bit. Make sure the cueing's okay. Gives him a nice little soft angle to come across to get on the purple 5. Probably wants to draw this above the green 6. Could have used a little more angle there. I think he's falling towards the bottom rail, but not a ton of angle. So now he may come 2 rails if he goes forward towards the 8. Maybe get a little bump on the 8. And that's the worry when he got flat. He could have got snookered right there, and he knew it was a bit of a gamble. Looks like it's going to give us the draw stroke here.
He's a funny combination, isn't he? Because his face suggests he's really intense and focused, but his body language is so casual, almost like he's not even really thinking about it, and he's distracted thinking about what he's going to have for dinner later. And it works very well.
Yeah, and, you know, love to be a little fly on the wall in his brain a little bit to understand what's going on, but I bet he's a great guy overall. I bet he's funny and we just don't know it. Seems like that type. Very serious though.
And a seriously good player. He's gone 2 ahead again in the match at 5-3. Billy Thorpe has got back to 1 behind against Lucas Taylor. 4-3 in that one. Jonas Suto Camino 7-1 up against Kenneth Donalds. Badr Alawadi on the hill now at 8-1 against Cody Booth. And what about the veterans? Ralph Souquet is a 4-2 lead now against Paul Song. And Earl Strickland is level with Mina Tani at 3 each. I saw you talking to Earl earlier on today. He was a late addition to the field.
Yeah, just had a few words saying hi, and good to see he's here. You know, he should be here. I was thinking about it yesterday that maybe they all shouldn't be playing, but I'd love to see all the past champions. If it was possible to see attend this event, I think they'd love it as well. Good to see Jesus Atencio back on the scene. He's taking a little time off. He's got a lot of game and still a very young man.
Yeah, leading Brentworth 4-2. Coming up, of course, to the 50th anniversary of the US Open a few years' time, so that would be the ideal time, and maybe have some sort of parade of champions. You'd be up for that, wouldn't you?
Absolutely. I think it would be a special moment in this event, and something that probably should happen. Just had the 50th anniversary of the Texas Open, which was a big success and a great event. And Tyler Starr played his tail off to win that event. Here, Feder course a little flat, kind of stunned the ball up the rail. And Feder, you know, he's made such a big mark and pull the last couple years, but it's been a minute since that World 9-Ball Championship. You know, he won it at such a young age. He's wanting to make a big stamp on one of these events, these Matchroom events, and of course none more than the US Open.
Talking about maybe getting all the past US Open winners back together. Maybe what we could do is have a champions dinner like they have at Augusta before the Masters. You talk about being a fly on the wall. I would love to be a fly on the wall at a US Open past champions dinner. Think of the names who'd be there.
Yeah, the names and the stories. If you know, get him a cocktail or two, and start to listen to all the stories through the years and all the battles. And the funny thing is, and the great thing about pool is, of course, a loss stings, but it isn't far after that loss to where the two players can still kind of jab at each other and talk a little smack and enjoy what's going on. Correction on that score. It's 5-3.
5-3, yeah. Joey Tate sitting there daydreaming a little bit, maybe of it being 4-all. But he's looked perfectly comfortable. I'm not saying he's played perfectly and every shot's been good, but he seems perfectly at home being out there. And we saw that last year against Van Boening, so that bodes very well that circumstances don't seem to throw him and he can still play his natural game, even if he hits the wrong ball sometimes.
Yeah, well, and he's, like I said earlier, all these kids seem very smart. They kind of learn a few things quicker than we did, accepting some things, and they don't always go your way. But yeah, Joey's pretty solid top to bottom.
Yeah, and he's still in with every chance in this match, just a couple behind.
A lot of the juniors are the young American players in this round. I mentioned Brent Worth, who trails right now, but another great young player.
So scratch on the break, costly for Tate in the previous rack. And that's why Duong Quoc Hoang has the break in this rack with a 5-3 lead.
That was ideal there, the hit on the one. Cue ball back and forth. Seems the two has come clean, even though the cue ball near the pink. He's got a 3-5 combination ahead of him. Not too difficult. Really, the two ball's more difficult than the combination. Really nice, in a perfect position now to just go forward, shooting this combo, knowing the three will come off the purple 5 and open up for a shot in that same pocket. Don't think he draws this, just a roll stroke. Oh, he caught it thick, and there's so many ways to make that rail first, natural. The thick side is really the only way you miss it, and didn't expect that. Missed that by some margin. Still would never know it looking at Hoang. But he's got to be a little careful where the three lays here with the top English. Oh, okay, he could easily get the three up.
Badr Alawadi is the first winner of day 2 at the US Open. He's beaten Cody Booth 9 racks to 1.
Yeah, Badr, a very good player and a very, very tough customer. I think a lot of players like Badr, that if they just get a little more comfortable, they can make some deep, deep runs in these big events, and have made some in the past. What a huge game in this match, though, to make it 5-4. And you know, when you look at a premium match, even if one's a little bit more favorite than, you know, some other matches, what you figure is whoever breaks and runs some racks in between, right? That's what's going to usually win the match. And the same thing here, and Joey's very capable of doing that. So if he gets it to 5-4, you can't consider him much of an underdog for the remainder of the match.
Well, he hasn't led since he broke and ran the opening rack. He's been behind since it went to 2-1. But crucially, he's managing to repeatedly keep Duong Quoc Hoang within striking distance. And yet again, Joey Tate pulls it back to only one behind. It's now 5-4 in this wonderful first round match. Different story on table 2. Federer Gorse has a simple 9, which is now deposited to stretch his lead to 6-1 over Sam Henderson. Victor Zielinski looking to follow Badr Al-Awadi in the early winners today. And in fact, he's just done that by 9 racks to 0 against Canada's Barry Hetherington. Pius Labutus perhaps on the hunt for a whitewash win as well. 7-0 against American Tyler Mills. Billy Thorpe 5-3 down now to Lucas Taylor. Nicholas De Leon has turned it round to lead Sami Jokinen of Finland 5-4. Ralph Souquet 4-2 up on Paul Song. Minatani leading the 5-time US Open champion Earl Strickland by a single rack at 4-3. Joey Tate is a single rack behind. Is it possible, do you think, Jeremy, for a player as young as Joey Tate to have reached his full potential yet in terms of breaking of the balls, or is it something that you really only get to with years and years of experience of tournament play?
No, I'd say he's still got definitely room for improvement in that. You know, just like talk about with all the players, you always have to be working on something, and that doesn't mean necessarily a change. That just means, you know, if you're not changing something, or if there's something, you got to keep improving what you do have. And I don't think there's any doubt that, yeah, I think every part of Joey's game can improve. And I'd say that about a lot of players, not just the juniors.
So it's a lifetime thing, really, isn't it? Figuring out the break.
Absolutely it is. And you know, figuring it out, like I said, is one thing, but keep improving that. You know, for the better players, it's always a long-term investment. And that's just how it is, but just because you improve just so little at a time. But one thing I think for all these youngsters is what happens, I think, sometimes when they play in the big events at a young age. You know, that's a great thing to get that experience, but they kind of pick themselves apart a little bit. You know, they want to play the right shot in front of these great players. And what happens is you kind of just, you know, worry about that a little more than just kind of evolving and understanding you're going to play the right shot more and more. That's just how the game is. So get used to being comfortable out there. That's the main thing. Okay, he's going to need some help here. And he somewhat got it. Doesn't appear the kiss shot's on, and the combo doesn't go. The 2 doesn't play, so maybe a safety here. Could go for a 2-rail bank in the upper corner where he's standing, trying to hold the cue ball behind the 3 and 4 for a safety as well.
What it must be like to be 18 years of age with a whole lifetime of massive potential and possibilities ahead of you.
Yeah, especially looking at where the game's at. It's just awesome. Okay, he's hitting a high ball here, so I'm not sure what he's doing. Maybe coming to the rail and then up on the 9 with the cue ball. Okay, he just played a real simple one. Definitely going to leave a very doable kick shot and maybe another jump in return.
How good were you at 18, Jeremy? How far along did you come with your
Well,
game?
I started very late. I didn't start really playing until I was 17. So for people that play at the level, you know, that I played at, most of them started out, you know, 5, 6 years old, or their parents played, or. But I actually excelled pretty quick, just being around Houston, a lot of great players, and I quit one of my jobs to go work at the game room so I could play for free, and that helped a lot. But it didn't. A couple of years, I got to be a pretty decent player. but nothing like these kids, you know, that are playing today at 18 and 17 and whatnot.
Some of the players we've seen at these big venues this year are nowhere near being 18. The kids in these junior events. I've remember seeing one kid at the FSR junior event in Spain, and honestly, I have a 3-year-old at home who looks about the same age as him. It was frightening.
Yeah, and it's amazing how good they are. Also, it's just like the no fear. They don't know how difficult a shot is, you know. Okay, just that was a huge shot there at 5-4. And you kind of feel like Hoang was kind of feeling the heat a little bit, even though it's hard to really peg him when he goes around the table. But all those shots just have to be hit a little cleaner. Can he hold the ball here? Got a little angle going away from the red 3. Wouldn't be surprised he stuns this now. He's going to try and hold it. That means he's probably going to shoot the 3 and he held it easily. No worries.
Yeah, what happened there with the way the chance was offered up on the 2, it just has the feel of something that could be a really big, potentially even decisive moment in the match. Chance to go 2 clear here. It's really been handed to him.
Yeah, it's weird. You get the feelings of things when, you know, just like you're a sports guy, you watch whatever it is, your main football team or a player you like, even though you're not next to them and you don't hang out with them, you still start to get a feeling of what's about to happen. As someone that knows sports, and if Hoang gets out here, I kind of feel like he's going to break and get a shot to maybe extend the lead. Well, he's got to make a decision here. Is he going to go forward for the angle? Is he going to come backwards for the angle? It's not the type of tables you just kind of want to knock balls in without much thought.
That's all part of his style as well, though, isn't it? Because he sizes up a shot with that intense look on his face, and then gets down and just plays it as if it's the easiest thing in the world.
Well, it's a beautiful thing, you know, when you don't really change your routine from one, you know, shot that's a little harder than the next. And probably something that is no coincidence why he's had such great results here the last year or so.
1-for-1 exchanging of racks continues. It was 3-1, it was 4-2, it was 5-3. And Duong 2 clear again on 6-4. Ralph Souquet leading Paul Song 4-3. Earl Strickland now level at 4-all against Mina Tarney. And as I say that, Strickland's just made it 5-4. Wu Kun Lin, World Championship semi-finalist this year. A real battle with Cashton Keaton. It's taken them about an hour to get through the first 5 racks. Wu Kun Lin just ahead at 3-2. Nicholas De Leon now level with Sami Jokinen at 5 each. Fiddle Gorst on table 2, 7-1 up on Sam Henderson. Lucas Taylor has stretched his lead over Billy Thorpe to 6-3. Sharik Saeed still in with a chance of completing the whitewash. 6-0 against Jim Prather, but very different story for Naoki Oi, who leads David Derek Dyer 5-4.
Well, I know Oi, who is in a tight one so far, but you know, he had so many results a year and a half ago throughout the entire year, it seemed like, and not as much of late, but I think he's starting to get that game back. So I think good chance we see some big results from Oi, who has always loved this U.S. Open.
Well, this could be just about the best outcome from the break that either player has had so far in this match.
Well, that's what I was talking about earlier. It kind of felt like he was going to break and get a shot. The break's been improving, and just felt like it was a big shot on that 2 for Joey Tate in the last rack.
Piers Labutus, who we saw get to the semi-finals of the Spanish Open in Lugo back in June. He's won 9-0 against Tyler Mills. We'll now play the winner of that match between Jesus Atencio and Brent Worth, which is level at 4-all. Paul Schofield putting up a very good fight against Chang Yung Lin, and he won behind at 5-4.
Well, it seems like, you know, Chang Jung Lin, ever since pandemic, right, has been a little more beatable by players that you don't expect. I mean, he used to just, if he was the favorite in the match, he just trimmed him. That's just how it was, it seemed like. And but here in the last six months or so, or 8 months since he's come back, it's been a difficult road for him. Especially, I mean, most of us before pandemic kind of considered him a top 5 to 8 player in the world. Trying to get a little separation here with a break and run in the 11th rack.
Two things that haven't happened yet in this match. Either player being 3 clear. And Duong Quoc Hoang having a break and run. He has the ideal chance here to make both of those things happen. And by doing so, he stretches his lead to 7-4. Just 2 more required now to see off the teenager. Niels Fyan leading Tyrrell Blowers 7-1. Lo Ho Sum 6-1 up against Ryan Borsa. Tim de Ruyter of the Netherlands level at 4-all with Kim Laxonen from Finland.
You might know this, Michael, but of course America has the most players here at the U.S. Open, and as it should, but you know, it seems like the U.S. Open, it brings big groups of players from certain countries, right? And I wonder who's the biggest group besides America. Poland, maybe? I don't know.
Yeah, seems a safe bet.
Yeah, but Kuwait usually brings quite a few players. I mean, there's a lot of countries that bring quite a few players to the U.S. Open.
Well, I noticed the Vietnamese contingent
is a lot bigger,
usual, yeah.
Chinese Taipei has a lot of players. So, I mean, of course, Europe, we always see it's like, you know, definitely Poland is going to carry the most players. It just always is. But when we talk about the entire world here at the U.S. Open, it may be a little different. Yeah, the break's really starting to tune in. So Joey, if he gets, you know, any chance from here on out, he's got to really capitalize.
Just going back to what you were saying before, whenever we come to one of these events and you look at the field, it always reminds me so much of a Grand Slam tennis event, because you go to one of those and you can see every corner of the world pretty much represented by someone in men's, women's, or maybe the doubles events. It's like that here, perhaps more so than any other sport. I think the fields tend to be certainly more international even than golf. Maybe like the athletics events as well, they're probably ahead of those. And for me, it's one of pool's biggest selling points, the sheer global spread of it.
Yeah, and we're missing, you know, quite a few. We only have a few from South America. There's quite a few great players now from many countries in South America, and even the Caribbean is starting to really perform, and some players and youngsters coming from that area. So it's going to grow even more. Okay, he likes that draw inside. We've seen it a few times in this match. And now he's got to make a decision. Can I draw back with the right speed to play the 4 in the lower right? Do I have to maybe entertain the side pocket in some way? Confederate Gorse just doing what he does. I think a lot consider him the most consistent player on the planet. Now extending that lead, getting on the heel early at 8-1.
Yeah, so table 2 may be finished in the next few minutes. And next up on that table will be former US Open winner Jason Shaw taking on American Robert Hart, who we've seen playing in a number of these events over the last couple of years.
Yeah, Rob, looking forward to it. I had to change my flight because of weather, and of course Rob from Philly called him up, gave me a ride over on Sunday, and we talked about it. He's really looking forward to playing this US Open. Uh-oh, a little bit of a miss there. So now a chance. Not easy. Of course, the pink 4's hanging, but he's got to play a rail first, I think, that's going to lead the cue ball towards the 7-8. 6 up the table, 7 down on the bottom. So he's got to have it, but it's not a bargain.
Robert Hart, who we mentioned there, I think I'm right in saying he played Jack Lazowski, the snooker player, when we saw him at the UK Open.
I think so, yeah. I think that was on the one-loss side, though, I think. I think Jack played another player in the first round. I think in a moment. But Rob, I'll tell you what, Rob's got some game. So I mean, he's funny, man. I talk to him quite often, and he just gets a little mental block here and there. Sometimes see the cue ball going towards that 7-8. It was always going to be a little bit of a gamble. And the gamble hadn't paid off yet. So, but he still feels like he hasn't brought his game to one of these tournaments yet, and that's probably the point of him keeping on playing. So.
Well, I saw him at the UK Open the previous year, and I think he was playing on the main table, and he looked really out of his depth. But having seen him again this summer, seems there's been a significant improvement there.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I don't know if too many that practice more and really are conscious of working on things and putting forth the effort. And he's kind of like that with everything he does. I don't know if he's an introvert by nature, Rob. I've only known him now 15 years or something, but pool kind of makes him an introvert, meaning he wants his time and he wants it, no one bothering him, and where he can really work on his game.
Joey Tate has been given the chance to stem the tide of Duong Quoc Hoang here. And now the rack has developed in such a way that the man from Vietnam should get to the hill. That said, another twist.
Yeah, I didn't see the point in all that. He was trying to go the bottom rail to the right long rail to the top rail and then back at the 7. And with such an open center of the table, surprised he didn't wrap the corner here on the low right and come around with the cue ball. Like that kind of shot he was shooting was kind of more of a must when you don't have anything else. He's going to leave it very difficult for Joey. Tough shot here.
Given the way it's unfolded, it's turned into one of those racks now that whoever ends up losing it will have regrets about it.
Yeah, I don't think he can go forward with the cue ball. I think he'll threaten a scratch in the upper left. So he's not only got to hit this well with a draw stroke, probably going to have to take a little distance on the 8. Oh, he's trying to stun at 2 rails, even tougher. Oh, he drew it. Nice shot. Pretty fluid stroke there, Michael.
Yeah, very impressive. And this is a rack you have to feel he's got to win. And should do from here.
Don't know Joey Tate, real well. But I kind of take a guess at this sometimes when I see certain types of strokes. But I would guess he does a lot of things right-handed. He's not. I would just take a guess that he's not lefty in all kind of sporting activities. Have to find that out.
Yeah, maybe something we can ask him later. Well, he really needed to win that one, didn't he? And he has. So 7-5. Honasuto Camino has won 9-1 against Kenneth Donald of Canada. Nicholas de Leon is on the hill now, leading Sami Jokin an 8-5. That was quite close early on. Fedor Gorst has just finished off against Sam Henderson, so a 9-1 win. Liv Souquet 5-3 up on Paul Song, and Earl Strickland has edged ahead at 6-5 over Mia Natani. Wu Kunlin starting to take control of things a bit against Cashton Keaton. It's now 5-2. Chang Young Min now 6-4 up on Paul Schofield. Back to this one. This has fallen nicely, JJ.
Yes, it has. Another nice calm stroke there on the 2 coming across. Got some work left, of course, and gotta pay attention. Nothing major here, just one rail to the center of the table. He's going to get a little flat here and a hair off angle. So he's not going to be able to get out easily to the center of the table. I'm not saying it's a major, major problem. The 5, you have options, but you can see the 6 a little covered up the table. So when you start to get a little out of line on, 2-3 balls before a possible problem, it can kind of start to mount a little bit. Gotta watch out. Okay, he's all right.
Sorry, JJ. I was just going to say, I think it was Shane Van Boning we were talking about yesterday, and we were saying that over the years he's become very good at just shrugging things off when he has a setback in a match. He doesn't let it affect anything that happens after that. The signs I'm seeing from Joey Tate are that he's of the same mould.
No, absolutely, and I think that's just something with youngsters, period, is especially the smart ones. They learn it quickly, just got to leave it behind. And, a lot of these youngsters, they have so much match time, so they've kind of experienced more things than a lot of other players at that age. So here, this is where it started to mount a little bit. Him getting a little out of line on the 4, made a nice shot to get on the 5, but got a little handcuff going forward. The 7 was always there. Now a little flat on the green 6, so he's going to have to power the ball a lot. I don't think he can get there. Let's say it's very difficult to get there just coming 1 cushion off the top rail. Really think he needs to try and stun this. All right, he's going to come 1 cushion, so if he overhits it, he won't get there. But if he just lets it roll down the table, he should be all right. You see how it hugs like that? That's the experience of the slick table. You kind of got to smooth it down the table with the cue ball.
Hasn't had a break and run since the very first rack of the match. Chance to do so here, looks to be slipping away.
Does he attack this long rail bank? Sits okay. I wouldn't say anyone's a favorite to make it, but all right, he's going to try and put the 7 underneath the 9 and leave some distance on that top rail with the cue ball. Maybe just trying to edge this, which is super tough. Well, he's going to get there. Nice shot. Really nice.
And again, we saw it there, the disappointment of losing position. Put it behind them, figured it out, executed brilliantly.
And Billy Thorpe now trails 8-4. I do not know Lucas Taylor, even though American, or at least not by name. You know, sometimes you see the face, it makes it ring a bell, but I wonder if Billy's just having some laboring issues with that injury.
Yeah, Billy Thorpe, we were saying, I think he fell down some stairs the other night.
Yeah,
sprained his ankle.
Yeah, he slipped going down the stairs, decided to take the stairs instead of the elevator, maybe just, you know, get a little movement, a little exercise, and said he wasn't going fast down them at all, just kind of slipped and had a bad fall and lucky not to break his ankle. All right, a little on top of it, so can be a funny bank. Now, if he's applying English, watch out for the side pocket where he's banking it, because the cue ball will go towards that side pocket. It looks like it's a straight high ball, though, so it should be okay. Nice shot.
Well, the break and run chance passed him by, but he stayed patient and carved this out very nicely for himself. A good safety, and then the pot we've just seen. And now, straightforward, an 8 and 9 as you could hope for. So having trailed by 3, Joey Tate is going to reduce that to just a single rack. He's proving so dogged, so resilient, just won't let Duong Quoc Hoang get away from him. Now he's back to only 7-6. Yeah, Billy Thorpe trying to emulate the two-time world snooker champion Alex Higgins, who back in the 1980s fell out of a window. Ended up playing at the British Open, actually, an event that's going on at the moment, against Steve Davis, who he hardly ever beat, and had to hop around the table for the whole match, lost 5-0. But then, still hobbling, won his next couple of tournaments.
How do you fall out of a window exactly as an adult?
Yeah, let's just say...
we used to sneak out of windows as kids, but...
Yeah, Alex had quite a turbulent personal life.
Okay.
So it may have had something to do with that, let's just say.
I gotcha.
Yeah.
Well, we'll keep those windows locked. Although, there in Fulda, I guess it was, we had those nice big windows you could open. It was some beautiful weather, and I saw a couple of players kind of like just sitting on the window sill, like right on the edge, like 5 floors up. And, you know, we're talking to them from the street and stuff. I'm like, man, I would never do that.
Okay, we're coming back to that in a moment, but
Yeah,
first
right.
let's see this break.
Okay, he's catching it a little thin. It's not only going to cost him a ball in the break, but almost cost him the cue ball as well.
The window of opportunity opens in this rack for Duong Quoc Hoang. I've got to go back to that. What do you mean they were sitting on the seal of the window?
Well, you know, kind of like, you know, the feet were inside the room, but the rest of the kind of hanging and sitting right on the edge of the window, actually, getting some fresh air, I guess. But for me, I'm a little too clumsy for that. I sure do like that town of Fulda, though.
Oh, absolutely delightful. And the fact we always go there at that time of year, early August, it's just such a nice time to be there.
Yeah, really splendid venue with the hotel right next door, and just a lot of fun. And that schnitzel is awfully good. All right, in great position here. Just got to worry about, in a few shots, getting on the 6 properly to get on the 7. I don't think he'll entertain a 6-9 combo, even though it's a possibility.
The veterans going well. Earl Strickland 7-5 up on Ian Atani, and Ralph Suke leading Paul Song 6-3.
And I think, you know, like Ralph said, he feels like he's got another big one in him. And it's hard to disagree. And the reason why I say that is if he happens to get, into that final 64, final 32, the adrenaline starts going, and then the age just kind of goes away, in my opinion. And Ralph, of course, a player that's so smart and a Hall of Famer and keeps himself in shape. I think that's a true statement, and something he truly believes. I wouldn't doubt if it happened.
Yeah, 2002 was his year to win the US Open. He's 54 now.
I think the oldest winner ever is Mike LeBron. I believe that's the oldest winner in the US Open. $1988, maybe?
Yeah, 54 years of age.
Yeah.
Representing Puerto Rico, so the first non-American winner.
Yeah. Spanish Mike is what they called him, even though he was from Puerto Rico. Resides in the Philly area.
You'd probably get in trouble for calling someone that nowadays.
Yeah, right. Oh, interesting shot. This could get on the 50. Not taking much time either, I was going to say. Usually goes and looks at the ball from behind like most of the players.
So a rare dry break from Joey Tate proved very expensive. Duong Quoc Hoang first to the hill at 8-6. Mike LeBron, I think, didn't he move to this area, this general part of the country? Wasn't he in Philadelphia?
No, he's in Philly. Yeah. He's lived in Philly as long as I've known him.
Nearly 90 now.
Yeah, he's a big part of the pool scene whenever I first started playing the pro tournaments, and he was kind of like the godfather. All the players, they just kind of respected him, looking up to him, and asked him all kinds of questions.
Now, we're looking across the darkness here. Was that the old Strickland match?
No, I don't think so. It looked like so to me, but
actually,
is she in the event? Not sure.
Anyway, we'll come back to that.
Uh-oh, cue ball. It's creeping. And it looked like the 8 stopped just in time to get a look at the blue 2 and a nice little natural angle to come one rail for the 3. Of course, you can't overlook any shots on these tables. They're difficult. And of course, the nerves are always very high at the US Open, but it looks like if he gets the 2 down, that really opens up the rest of the rack and maybe the most difficult shot in the rack. Yeah, not as usual smooth stroke we see from Hoang, and definitely got away from him there. And now Joey, he knows what he has to do. No more mistakes can be made if he expects to come back and win this match.
I think that was the Earl Strickland match, because I know there's a Mina Tani who is actually quite a prominent women's snooker player. So if it's the same player, then I think that was the one. Strickland leading 7-5.
Oh, nice shot there, playing 2 rails underneath, out for the angle on the red 3. Man, I see a lot more flow in Joey's stroke. I tell you, I like what I'm seeing. Just got a guard getting a little elevated over the 8, maybe. Nice effort.
Whatever happens now, what we can say is it's another comfortable showing on one of the main tables at the US Open to follow up the one he had against Van Boening last year. And at his age, it's all good signs, good indications.
Well, I don't know. I kind of feel like it might change if he gets out here. I mean, Hoang's had 3 real big chances to feel like, to shut the door in this match. Wants to get a 4-game lead. He made a really funny decision. off the 6 to the 7, getting snookered, and they're there. Wasn't a real difficult shot on the 2. Maybe he saw the finish line with that 2 and got a little anxiety behind it. But tell you, Joey opened this match with a break and run. Don't think he couldn't finish it with a couple breaking runs.
Oh yeah, I'm not writing him off at all. He's still
another
chance.
I know
of
you're not.
What I'm saying is, whatever happens from here, he can at least take that away.
Yeah, absolutely. He's a left-handed player, very right-eye dominant, you could see. Cue stick heavily underneath the right eye. May have landed a little straight here, where he's got to draw the ball underneath where he's standing and back out. Shouldn't be a problem. Uh-oh. Got to get on top of this a little. Could be a little funny.
And of course, context is everything, isn't it? A bit more awkward. With the knowledge in his head that if the shot goes wrong, it could be his last in the match.
Yeah, and you want to draw this across, so easy to maybe push it and overcut this a little bit. You should be all right. Oh, nice confident stroke.
He had the little shake of the head with the position he'd left himself, but he's dealt with that well and shook it back to just a single rack behind here. Still has every chance of winning this contest. He'll be breaking in just a moment with a chance to take this to Hill. Woo Kun Lin took a long time to really get into control of that match against Cashton Keaton, but has now firmly done so and has arrived on the hill at 8 racks to 2. Billy Thorpe still punching against Lucas Taylor. Thorpe has won the 13th rack to get it back to 8-5. Carl Nadeberg also on the hill at 8-5 against Manuel Montejo Fernandez. The winners of those 2 matches will play against each other. And this is back to the Earl Strickland match we were talking about. Minatani has got it back to 7-6. Lo Ho Sum on the hill, 8-3 against Ryan Borsa. Joey Tate needed to win 3 in a row. That's 1 already. Oh, watch the line.
Yeah, I tell you, broke off really nice. The 2's coming down table with the cue ball. He's a little thin on the blue 2. Got some action on the 9. I think this is a playable shot. It's thin, but the 3's out in the center of the table, so not a lot of traffic with the cue ball going back and forth. Just got to pay attention to the make of the blue 2. Now the thing is, how much is the English going to check the cue ball? Is he going to have the speed right? Oh, really nice, calm stroke. A lot of people overhit that thin one. Funny little shot here. Does he have to roll and bump the pink? He does, just got to command the speed.
couple of British players who've won this title in the past, both in action at the moment. Jason Shaw in that first rack against Robert Hart, and Darren Appleton, who you were talking about earlier. Great to see him back here competing after his illness woes. Leads Joshua Wood 2-0.
You end up a little light here. So the thing is, it's a makeable shot. But anytime you're thin, you know, how you hit the pocket means the travel of the cue ball so much. And you can see the 7 over on the right side rail. You know, position on the 8 after, you know, shooting the 7, not a problem. Just, it's a matter of not only knocking in the purple, but how difficult is he going to get on the 7. Looks like cueing the low, he's going to play the bank.
Really should go 8 each now.
And I'll tell you what, he has really shown us a very short memory when it comes to a little bit of a mistake and then recovering afterwards. And this is a funny shot. Remember the one ball we talked about earlier in the match, coming backwards with the cue ball? I'd like to maybe go around the 8-9 with a high inside. Just kind of helps me with the 7 a little bit. And anytime you come backwards, not saying you're going to miss every time, it's just a more difficult play.
And in a match that's given him so much to be pleased about and encouraged by, it would be such a pity if that turned out to be his last act.
And this is going to be a little bit of a wake-up call, and a fortunate one, in my opinion, from Hoang. Could have easily been hill, and from there he's a little underdog with Joey Tate breaking. He's going to get through it, though, and play again later.
Yeah, Joey Tate is on his way to the one-loss side. He had a chance to get it back. We'll square at 8-all and take us to a hill finish, but in the end, Duong Quoc Hoang is the winner by 9 racks to 7.